On the ground, we are feeling very, very good. And the moral of the story here is that you cannot trust the polls right now. President Trump has formed one of the broadest coalitions that I've ever seen in my lifetime. And that's what I'm hearing from, people who go way back in politics. We're solid in those Reagan Democrat Macomb County areas that pulled Trump over the finish line in 16, and still went for him in 2020. When you walk around those areas and you look at just the people that are around, you're like, those are our people. And so downriver, Macomb County, the blue collar union types are definitely all swinging for us. And not only that, we have a lot of the immigrant coalitions. So we have a pretty diverse state, especially in our Detroit suburbs. And a lot of these communities are rejecting the ultra woke ideology that's been being pushed by the left for so long that they're moving over to our side. And then in another situation, we have the Dearborn Muslim population, as well as the other Arab Americans who want peace. And they see Trump as the candidate of peace and Kamala as the candidate of war. And there are billboards all over Dearborn that say, stop Kamala, stop the wars. They put her with Liz Cheney. President Trump has been in Dearborn and Hamtramck like 5-6 times in the past couple of weeks. And they're excited. I've been to a bunch of events in Dearborn. And that's really promising. Plus, we've had more rallies. Honestly, anyone who's interested in politics should spend some time in a swing state like Michigan, because we are getting it like no one else, man. I'll tell you. And we're exhausted, but we see the light at the...
Megan, who's in Philadelphia, she got something like 16 mailings in 12 days.
Yeah. And I think I might be on a different list or something, because the campaigns, I'm not getting as much mail as I'm getting text messages, man. I've never gotten so many text messages. I think I have like 600 unread text messages.
Oh yeah.
One of our recent mailers is one of these swamp the vote cards that just kind of gives us our information on how to find your early vote place. I early voted.
It's kind of backwards on the camera. What is it?
Sorry. It's one of the Swamp the Vote USA. So I don't know if everyone knows this, but if you go to swampthevoteusa.com and enter your address, I mean, early voting's obviously over, early voting's been a big change for us up here in Michigan, and it kind of changes the analysis a little bit. But if you go to swampthevoteusa.com, you could find your early voting place, whether you wanted to do absentee, you can find your polling place for tomorrow. And I do regret, I early voted because, that's like part of the plan here. But I'm going to miss going back to my old middle school to vote, where I can smell the old gym floor and, make it part of the tradition. But I'll probably, we'll be busy. And it's actually good to get it out of the way.
Going to see you tomorrow night?
Oh, absolutely. I'm getting excited for it. Good. How are you guys feeling?
We got a lot of work for you.
Hey, sounds good to me.
I mean, I'll give you a little history. So at this time, 4 years ago, Biden in the polls was winning Michigan by 5.1%. And the Real Clear Politics has Harris at 1.2. Clinton was leading by 3.6. So if that's any indication, Trump is going to win it by 2 or 3%.
That's our feeling, right? And like I mentioned before, like you can't trust the polls for anything, right? And depending on where you look, like, we'll have a few with Trump up, Trafalgar had Trump up, and then we have a few where Trump's down, and then we have a few that are dead even. A lot of people are kind of hedging and keeping their polls right even. I don't know what's going on with that.
The main thing is in 2016, Biden was up by 5.1%.
Yeah, but people are worried though, so we can't get too comfortable with that. Everyone still needs to vote tomorrow, because a lot of the pollsters kind of acknowledge the error of their ways and have sort of compensated. This is just what people brief me on, right? I don't know if they're, if you can trust anything that comes out of the
I'm going to be looking at that very carefully. North Carolina comes in at 7:30, and we can see there, are the polls straight on, or was there an undercount? And
that'll be good.
It's going to happen everywhere.
Yeah, and so you're saying 7:30 that'll start to roll in.
Yeah, which is good.
Yes.
I mean, I'll let you know if you're going to have a short night or a long night.
And that's what's keeping everyone on their toes here, right? That and the potential for cheating. But I think that the RNC is
just Watch out for those big trucks coming into the what was it? The arena at 3 in the morning with a
Yeah, it
couple of
will.
100,000 ballots.
Yep, yep. And we know they're going to try it
They
again.
don't.
But what's that?
That means they already have the ballots somewhere. In Pennsylvania, they had the ballots in October. Probably had them stored in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'm just
the
hoping there's enough
FBI
eyes on the
took the one
situation to
main
make
witness
it.
and turned them around.
Yeah, I hope there's enough eyes on the situation in Wayne County where they typically do cheat, and that's where the results come in at the last minute. We're making a lot of progress organically in those communities, like the Black community and the Muslim Arab community in Wayne County are drifting towards us, especially the men. And a lot of the women who are rejecting the ultra woke stuff
Isn't
and a
that
lot of the
amazing?
traditional.
Isn't that especially the men? That's really interesting. The men.
Yeah. Well, and everyone's felt the terrible economy, right? And you can't get away from that. You can't insulate yourself from that unless you're very wealthy. And these communities that we're talking about here, every penny counts, and those paychecks are going, less and less. You're getting a lot less out of your paycheck these days, and it's impossible to find a place to live in these places. And they see it. They kind of tie it into the immigration thing too. That has become a huge issue. Almost, I'd say for a lot of people, it's their number one issue. That and the economy, and in certain different communities have their own particular issues of interest. But the economy, the border, that's felt by everyone across the board, and people are waking up to it.
Well, we'll be in touch with you tomorrow before you leave, and then we're looking forward to seeing you. Have a good trip, huh?
Oh, I can't wait to see you guys. God bless.
All right. God bless. Thank you, Stephen.
We've been feeling the attention here in Michigan, but